I trust that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on subordinating conjunction. So, we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on subordinating conjunctions. And before we start with our lesson on subordinating conjunctions, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudent.ca with your username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 4. And once you selected the subject of language arts, grade 4, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of subordinating conjunctions. All right. So in our previous lesson, we did coordinating conjunction. So there's a difference between coordinating conjunction and subordinating conjunction, right? So in our previous lesson, we did coordinating conjunction, and our coordinating conjunctions are words like and, but, or so. And it usually either joins words or phrases, right? Or even simple sentences. So now we're going to find out what subordinating conjunctions are, because subordinating conjunctions as well as coordinating conjunctions are different. All right, so our chapter is subordinating conjunctions. Our subject is English, which is language arts, grade 4. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on today under the chapter of subordinating conjunctions is to identify subordinating conjunctions and also to use subordinating conjunctions. So we're going to identify subordinating conjunctions, and we're also going to use subordinating conjunctions. So subordinating conjunctions. So a subordinating conjunction or subordinating conjunctions are used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. So this connects simple sentences in a special way, and we're going to find out how it is being connected. So the conjunctions are after and before. So there's different, especially here when it comes to subordinating conjunctions, right? We have a few conjunctions. So the conjunctions after and before, they tell you when something happens. So the conjunctions after and the conjunctions before, they tell you when something happens. For example, I need to return this book before the library closes. So the word before is our conjunction that tells you when something happens. In this case, it tells us when he needs to return the book. And then we have our conjunctions, which are as and while. And as and while, they tell you, so they tell you that two things happen at the same time. So as and while, it tells you that two things happen at the same time. For example, as we lie on the grass. So as we lie on the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. So as we lie on the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. So these are two things that happens at the same time. Or my brother likes to listen to music while he does his homework. So which means that he listens to music and he's listening to homework and he's doing his homework at the same time. So this is two things that happens at the same time. And we call these subordinating conjunctions. Then we have conjunctions that tell you how long something takes or lasts. This is now the conjunction until. So the conjunction until, it tells you how long something takes or how long it lasts. For example, my mom told me to wait until she comes back. So until she comes back. So until, it basically tells us how long something takes or lasts. And then we have the conjunctions because and since. So the conjunctions because and since, they tell you why something happens or why something is true. So why something happens or why something is true. This is now because or since. So it's like trying to explain to somebody why something happens or why something is true. For example, I was late to school because I forgot to set my alarm, meaning that you're not trying to explain to somebody why something happened, why you were late for school. So you were late to school because you forgot to set your alarm. And since I left my phone at home, I have to borrow my brother's. Explaining to someone why something happens and why something is true. Meaning, in this case, you are explaining why you had to use your brother's phone because you left your phone at home. And then the conjunctions, unless. So the conjunctions, unless, they show an exception. So unless it's cloudy tonight, we will see the full moon. So unless it's cloudy tonight, we will see the full moon. And then we also have the conjunction although. And the conjunction although, it shows surprise or it shows contrast. Although she was sick, my sister still went to school. So these are our subordinating conjunction. So it joins or connects two simple sentences, but in a special way. And we call these subordinating conjunctions. All right, and we are doing our tutorial lesson on A plus students.ca. So now we're going to A plus students.ca. And we're going into the first lesson where we need to identify subordinating conjunctions. And we already explained what a subordinating conjunction is. And we said subordinating conjunctions are used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. Now, with if I were to just go back to the coordinating conjunction, right? With the coordinating conjunctions, right? We said we also join. It also joins two simple sentences, right? But the difference between subordinating conjunctions and coordinating conjunctions is the fact that with coordinating conjunctions, your the coordinating conjunction is literally in the middle where it joins the two sentences. But with subordinating conjunction, it is different because you can even find the word in the beginning of the sentence. And once again, it says a conjunction, the conjunction after and before, they tell you when something happens. The conjunction as and while, right? They tell you that two things happen at the same time. And then we have the conjunction until, which tells you how long something takes or lasts. The conjunction because and since to tell you why something happens or why something is true. And the conjunction unless it shows an exception. And then lastly, our conjunction although it either shows surprise or it shows a contrast. And these are our subordinating conjunctions. All right, so now we need to select the subordinating conjunction. Although Janet was nervous, she performed beautifully in the play. So, although Janet was nervous, she performed beautifully in the play. What is our subordinating conjunction within that sentence? And if we were to select our subordinating conjunction, we will select the word although. So, although Janet was nervous, she performed beautifully in the play. So, the delivery truck won't come unless the storm stops. So, the delivery truck won't come unless the storm stops. And if we were to select the subordinating conjunction, we would select the word unless. Meaning that if the storm does not stop, then the delivery truck won't come. And then while the pasta was cooking, Brendan peeled the carrots. So while the pasta was cooking, Brendan peeled the carrots. And if we were to select our subordinating conjunction, we would select the word while. And it tells you that two things are happening at the same time. While. All right, so now we're going on to our test, right, where we are going to identify subordinating conjunctions. We need to select the subordinating conjunction. So Mia knew the alphabet before she turned 3 years old. So Mia knew the alphabet before she turned 3 years old. So is the subordinating conjunction the, or is it before? So Mia knew the alphabet before she turned 3 years old. So is it the, or is it before? And if we were to select the correct subordinating conjunction, and then yes, we will choose before. And before is correct. Well done. Although Janet was nervous, she performed beautifully in the play. So we need to select the subordinating conjunction. Is it although, or is it she? So although or she. Although Janet was nervous, she performed beautifully in the play. And if we select the subordinating conjunction, we will say although. And although is correct, so well done. Unless mom has the day off, we'll go to dad's house. So unless mom has the day off, we'll go to dad's house. Is it unless or is it go? What is a subordinating conjunction? Unless or go. And if we select the subordinating conjunction, we will choose the word unless, right? So well done. Unless is correct. So unless that plant gets plenty of sun, it won't grow well. So unless that plant gets plenty of sun, it won't grow well. So is it unless or is it it? All right, and if we select the coordinating conjunction, and then unless is our subordinating conjunction. So well done. The nurse will read to Cole until he falls asleep. So the nurse will read to Cole until he falls asleep. Is it until or is it he? So until or he. And to select the subordinating conjunction, right, we will select until. So until is our subordinating conjunction. So great job. So before we go sailing, we will check the weather. Before we go sailing, we will check the weather. So is it before or is it we? So before or is it we? And if we select the subordinating conjunction, we can select the coordinating conjunction as before. So before is our subordinating conjunction. So great job. So until your room is clean, you can't play computer games. So until your room is clean, you can't play computer games. So is it unless or is it your? I mean until, sorry, or is it your? All right, and until is our subordinating conjunction. So after our dog Ruby buried the bone, she took a nap. So is it our or is it after? So after our dog Ruby buried the bone, she took a nap. Is it our or is it after? And after is our subordinating conjunction. So well done. All right, so that was us identifying subordinating conjunctions. Now we're going to use the subordinating conjunctions. So Leslie ate popcorn. She watched the movies. So we can say Leslie ate popcorn as she watched the movie. And Kenny played the drums better. So Kenny plays the piano, played the drums, sorry, better. He started taking lessons. It's a non-les. So Kenny played the drums better. And we can say after he started taking lessons. So after he started taking lessons. And Simon mixed the pancake batter. He scooped it into the pan. So Simon mixed the pancake batter. And that is before he scooped it into the pan. Right? And these are a few of our subordinating conjunctions, right? And we said subordinating conjunctions are used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. And we have the conjunction after, and we have the conjunction before, which tells you when something happens, as in while, they tell you when two things happen at the same time. So we have after, before, which tells you when something happens, while and as, they tell you when two things happen at the same time, until tells you how long something takes or lasts, because and since tells you why something happens or why something is true, unless shows an exception, and unless it shows exception, and although shows surprise or contrast. And those are our subordinating conjunctions. All right, now we're going on to our test, where we are going to use subordinating conjunctions. So we need to complete the sentence with the better conjunction. Simon mixed the pancake batter. He scooped it into a pan. Is that before he scooped it into a pan, or although he scooped it into a pan? So Simon mixed the pancake batter, and we can say before he scooped it into the pan. And before is correct. Well done. Before is correct. The store is open. Let's go grocery shopping. Is it while the store is still open or until the store is still open? Let's go grocery shopping. So is it while the store is still open? Let's go grocery shopping, or until the store is still open? Let's go grocery shopping. And if we select the correct one, we can say while the store is still open, let's go grocery shopping. Right? So while the store is still open, let's go grocery shopping. Do we say unless the fireworks were exploded overhead, Josh covered his ears? Or while the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears? So do we say unless the fireworks were exploding overhead? Or do we say while the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears? All right, and if we select the correct one, we can say while the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ear. And while is correct. Well done. We waved goodbye. Do we say as the bus pulled the out of the station, or unless the bus pulled out of the station? We waved goodbye as the bus pulled out of the station, or unless the bus pulled out of the station. So we waved goodbye as the bus pulled out of the bus station. So as is correct. And then Jing's dog, Sparky, barks. Do we say after the mail is being delivered or while the mail is being delivered? So Jing's dog, Sparky, barks after or while the mail is being delivered. And if we select the correct one, we can say while the mail is being delivered. Right? So well done. Tessa dried off with a blue towel. Is it after she took a bath or before she took a bath? So Tessa dried off with a towel. Do we say after she took a bath or before she took a bath? All right, so it's after she took a bath. All right. Do we say until I leave for school, I put on my shoes and coat? Or before I leave for school, I put on my shoes and coat? So until I leave for school, I put on my shoes and coat. Or before I leave for school, I put on my shoes and coat. And if we select the correct subordinating conjunction, we can say it's before I leave for school, I put on my shoes and my coat. Leslie ate popcorn as she watched the movie, or do we say although she watched the movie? So Leslie ate popcorn as she watched the movie or although she watched the movie. All right, and if we select the correct subordinating conjunction, we can say Leslie ate popcorn as she watched the movie. All right, two more. Jane said good night to her dad. Is that although she fell asleep or before she fell asleep? So Jane said good night to her dad although she fell asleep or before she fell asleep. And we can say before she fell asleep. Let's do one more. The crops in the field will dry out unless it rains soon or after it rains soon. So the crops in the field will dry out unless it rains soon or after it rains soon. All right, so if we select the subordinating conjunction, we can say that the crops in the field will dry out unless it rains soon. And unless is correct. So well done. Well done. Great job. Right? So that is now the end of our lesson on subordinating conjunction. And we said subordinating conjunction, it basically connects words in a special way, right? And we had selected certain subordinating conjunctions like until, unless, although, as, um, and so on, right? And it's basically joins simple sentences in a special way. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on subordinating conjunctions. Thank you very much for joining the class and for interacting with your answers and questions. All right, and I hope you're going to have a great weekend further. Goodbye. So goodbye.